Hi, and welcome to Chemistry 210. I figured I would make a little introductory video to let you know who I am, what the class is going to be like, and things that might be a little bit different than the typical chemistry class you're used to because of what's going on right now. My name's James LeBlanc. I've been teaching at Skyline for a couple of years now, and this is going to be a little bit different because we're going to be doing most everything online. We are going to be having our lectures online, doing our first few labs online in a virtual web-based setting. Hopefully later on in the term we'll be able to do some of the labs. You'll be able to work on them at your own home with a little bit of introductory work back and forth, which we'll also do online in Zoom sessions. So because this is going to be a little bit different, I figured I would take a little bit of time to talk about what the class is going to be like, some of the things you can expect, and let's just get started there. So you may be wondering about, why chemistry is so important. Hopefully you know why chemistry is so important because you're taking this class. But other folks may wonder, what's the point of doing chemistry? Physics is so much more important. Well, physics is cool. Physics, the study of forces, how different things, different bits of matter interact with each other, and how they, action and reaction and all that cool stuff. Planets revolving around suns, and, it's important stuff. And biology, of course, is the science of life. What could be more important than that, right? I myself am a biochemist, so I like chemistry and biology. So biology right now, super important. Thinking about things like, gee, I wonder how viruses interact with their hosts, stuff like that, pretty important. But when you get right down to it, chemistry is the science of matter. And matter, well, that's everything, right? So we're going to be studying basically everything. What's matter? Where does matter come from? How does it break down? How does it interact with other matter? And so really, when you get right down to it, I think chemistry is basically the cornerstone of all the other sciences. But you don't have to take it from me. So what are we going to be doing this summer? So some things about the class itself. There's going to be 3 midterm exams. Each of them is going to be worth 100 points. And the way I was giving out exams last term, which was half online after the COVID-19 shutdown came into being, was that I gave people the test to do on Canvas, and then they were given 24 hours to then submit their answers. And a lot of people found that to be a lot better than being given 1.5 hours or 2 hours to do in class. And I also noticed that a lot of my students did a lot better because they weren't as stressed out as they are when they're in class. They're home. It's a lot more comfortable environment. You can drink as much coffee as you want, go to the bathroom as much as you want. It's a lot more relaxed, and so I found that the people did a lot better on the tests. And so, hopefully that'll also be true for a lot of you. There'll be 2 lab exams. Each one of those is worth 50, and those will be on topics expressly dealt with in the lab. So pay attention to what you're doing in the lab, what you're learning in the lab, and sort of the conclusions you take away from the experiments we do in lab, because that's what the lab exams will be on. Lab attendance is compulsory, just like it would be if we were physically joining together in an actual lab. So the lectures will be posted online, and you can watch them at your leisure. You can watch them at double speed if you want, and go over it as many times as you want. But lab attendance, I really want you to attend and be there in person, because you're going to be able to ask any questions you want about what's going on in the lab. there'll be some things that we may learn while doing the lab that we won't go over in either the lectures or in recitations, which I'll get to in a minute. So I really want you to attend the labs. If there are any pre-lab exercises with the instructions for the lab, they need to be done before we start, and those will be worth 10 points. So I'd want those. If we have pre-lab exercises to do, you'll get them a week before lab starts, and then they'll be due before the lab begins. And then the lab reports themselves will be worth a total of 20 points. And I've given instructions for how to do lab reports on Canvas. It's right on the home page. So check that out, because there's a way of doing lab reports in science classes and in chemistry classes in particular that you should follow. Now the recitation, I didn't know what a recitation was when I started working here. It's basically a problem solving class where we go over the kinds of problems that you are going to get on a test. And so important that you attend those. And the way I was grading them was I gave 10 points for attendance to the class, and if you were helping your classmates, asking lots of questions, you also got more points than if you just sort of sat and didn't say anything to anybody. And then another 10 points for the submission of the worksheet afterwards. Now, as far as the worksheet goes, I won't be grading them on whether or not your answers are correct. I will be grading them on whether or not you tried to do the problem, because that's the point of the recitation, is to figure out how to work out these problems. And it really will help both of us if you try to do as many of them as you possibly can, hopefully all of them. And if you try them all and get every one of them wrong, you're still going to get full points, because what I want to find out is how your brain works, how you work out a way of getting these problems done. What's your thinking process? Because that helps me try and figure out how to help you work them out. And if you get really good at these, you're going to kill the exams, believe me. And the final exam will be worth 250 points, and then everything will be added together. On the final, there'll also be some insanely difficult bonus questions that I usually throw in. And so some people can actually do better than the total if they study really hard. So that's what the class is going to be like. If you have any questions, my email address is there on Canvas. And since we're working at home, basically we're always at work. So I'm checking my email at like stupid times of the day and night when I really shouldn't. So that's about it. I will see everyone next week. Looking forward to meeting you, and we'll see you then. All right. Stay well, everybody. Bye-bye.